Update. Me, 22 female with my boyfriend, 24 male of 3 years. He found out that his ex is engaged and literally won't stop crying. Original post. I met my boyfriend 3 years ago through some mutual friends. He was pretty guarded, and I was the one who pursued him. We were long distance until I moved in with him last year. My boyfriend has only had one other relationship and a hookup before me. He stopped talking to the hookup a long time ago because she was crazy, but he kept in touch with his ex until she cut contact with him around 2 years ago. They dated when he was 15 and it lasted for about 2 years. Then she dumped him because he had no self-respect. Apparently, she's the reason why my boyfriend is so guarded now. I'll admit that I was really jealous of her and was glad when she cut contact because she's beautiful and my boyfriend talked about her as if she had all of life's answers. This past January, I woke up in the middle of the night and heard my boyfriend quietly crying. I could tell he was looking at his phone and I wasn't sure whether to say anything or give him privacy. After a while, he got up to go to the bathroom, so I took a peek at his phone. He was on Facebook, looking at his ex's profile. She had gotten engaged, and there were pictures of the ring and everything. It's been 2 months now, and my boyfriend has been breaking down out of nowhere. I keep asking him to talk to me about it, but he won't. I told him to talk to a therapist, and he got really insulted and said he doesn't believe in therapy. I'm unsure of what to do since this happens at least twice a week. I love him, but he's always seemed a bit distant to me, and obviously, this woman is the reason why. Should I contact her and ask if she has any insight? I'm starting to think she must have said something to upset him like this because he didn't seem that bothered when she was dating other people. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. No, don't contact her. Her job is finished. If her ex still has problems with their relationship, that's his issue. Now you, Missy, do not play Miss Fix-It here. You can't fix the fact that your boyfriend is actually still in love with another woman. You can be the most perfect woman on earth, but while he still has her as his dream woman, you don't have a shot. Honestly, and as hard as this may be, I'd talk to him about it again. And then, if there is no resolution, I'd consider moving on. You deserve someone who thinks you are the best woman on earth, not some distant ex from his high school years. Good luck, OP, and big hugs. This sucks balls. I was insecure about my boyfriend's relationship with his ex from the start. They didn't talk that often, but they'd catch up once every few months through Skype or something. She lives on the East Coast, and when Hurricane Sandy hit, he called her, texted her, and messaged her on Skype, despite her having cut off contact with him prior to that. I didn't even know he still had her phone number. Is this relationship hopeless? I knew he still had a bit of a thing for her, but I didn't know the extent of it until now. If he can't move on after all this time, I don't understand why he got into a relationship with me. Sounds to me like he's still in love with her. Somewhere in the back of his mind, he was probably holding out some hope of getting back with her, and now it's crushed since she's getting married. I don't know a lot about what went on during their relationship. It's a touchy subject with him. I know that it's not uncommon for people to never forget their first loves, but I can't understand this. From what I understand, she was really mean to him at the end. She blocked him from everything for like 6+ months after they broke up, and afterwards they seemed to have a normal friendship. One time I got really insecure and looked at their chat logs, but there was absolutely nothing weird in it. It was totally platonic. Now for the first update. It's over, I think. I called my dad and asked him to help me move back home. These last 2 days have been really emotional. My boyfriend was gone all day yesterday. He was gone when I woke up. That's fine. I assumed he went to work early, but he still wasn't home when I went to bed. I texted him once when I woke up to say good morning, and twice at night. Once asking if he was coming home for dinner, and another asking if he was all right. I also tried calling his cell, but he didn't pick up. I thought that I deserved some answers, so I decided to snoop, something I've only done once before, when I was feeling insecure about his relationship with his ex. Well, on his laptop, hidden in a bunch of subfolders, was a Word document with his ex's name. I read it, and I'm assuming he just saved the last conversation he had with her, right before she cut contact with him. It started out normally, but then he asked how her relationship with her now fiancé was going. She said that it was good, and that she was happy. And then it got weird, because he said something like, "Really? Are you sure?" She said yes and told him that was a weird question, and he said, "I don't know. I don't believe that you're that happy." I don't remember everything exactly because my head was spinning, but he basically told her that her fiancé, then boyfriend, would never treat her as well as he did, and that they'd known each other X number of years and managed to stay friends after their breakup, that they'd helped each other grow as people, and that she should really give him another chance. He said that he'd waited for her all these years, and that he loves her and always believed they'd wind up together. This was all while he was with me. She called him an a-hole and told him that he had a lot of nerve saying all that to her, when she told him a long time ago that they're only ever going to be friends, and that he's an even bigger a-hole for doing this while they were both in relationships. She told him to go to hell and to break up with me for my sake because I deserve better. That's not even the worst part. My boyfriend woke me up this morning by calling my cell and telling me to come to the kitchen. He said he made breakfast. So I go to the kitchen, getting ready for a fight. He and I never fight, but I am so goddamned hurt. And he made what honestly looked like an amazing breakfast, with a ring box in the middle of the table. He told me to open it. I did. He said something like, "These last 3 years with you have been an adventure, and I hope to keep making new adventures with you." I guess around this time, I snapped out of whatever haze I'd been in and exploded. I demanded to know where he was all day yesterday, why he wouldn't contact me, why he's been crying over his ex for the last 3 months, everything. He got mad at me for being mad. He told me that I should be happy because he was proposing, and wasn't that what I wanted? I asked him why, when it's so obvious that he'd rather be with his ex. He told me that she's obviously moved on, so it's time for him to move on too. I've never been so angry in my life. I've been so incredibly patient with this man and done my best to be understanding of his situation. I've literally given him all that I had, but I'm not going to get married to him just to be his consolation prize. It's so ironic because had he proposed 4+ months earlier, I would have been ecstatic. Now it just broke our relationship. So yeah, I called my dad, crying, and he's on his way to help me move back in with him and my mom. That's it. I'm a wreck, but I think it's just because everything wrong and twisted in this relationship is hitting me, and it took so long for me to understand. And my ex is just sitting on the couch with his laptop. Thank you guys so much for helping me see how unfair this whole relationship was. I read every one of your comments, even if I didn't get a chance to respond to them all. You are doing the right thing. Have a happy future. Thank you. I'm having a hard time taking everything in right now, so I can't even begin to think about what's coming. But I know it has to be better than this. You absolutely made the right choice to end this. He only proposed to you to make his ex-girlfriend jealous. His proposal was just a reaction to hers, and likely some stupid, desperate gambit he made in the hopes that she'd come running back afterwards. And you know what? You deserve far better than what this emotional moron has given you. You should never, ever settle for a man who doesn't completely and fully love and respect you. You are no man's second choice. Dump him, go no contact, and move on with your life. Let him spend the rest of his life screwing up one good relationship after another, mooning over his perfect girl. You are going to hold your head up high, heal on your own time, and then go on to find another man who loves you as much as you deserve. You're so young. You have plenty of time to still discover yourself. And next time you see a boyfriend or dating partner moon over an ex, get the heck out of there pronto. There is no winning against the phantom perfect ex that haunts indecisive, emotionally immature, and unavailable people. And seriously, forget him for trying to make you feel bad about not wanting to stay in a crappy relationship where you're second fiddle to his freaking high school girlfriend. Forget that loser. Here's to him getting the miserable romantic life he deserves. Thanks so much for your words of encouragement. I'm on my way home as I type this, and honestly, the further away that I am from him, the better I'm feeling. As I was getting the last of my stuff, my ex told me that I'm going to regret this. I don't know if he was always a jerk and I didn't see it or what. Second update. First, I want to thank everyone who commented on my last post. I really took your comments to heart, and all of the support means the world to me. I took a break from Reddit but logged in today to find a few PMs asking for another update. So here goes. My ex more or less went crazy after I moved back home. I blocked him from essentially everything, changed all my passwords, and deactivated my Facebook. So he had no way of reaching me aside from literally driving to my parents' house to see me. Apparently, he started sending messages to my friends, some of whom are mutual friends, asking to use their Skype accounts to talk to me. He told them that I stole some things from him when I moved out and that he wanted them back. I got a few phone calls from my friends asking me about this. They told me they knew I didn't steal anything from him because that's not like me at all, but they wanted to know why he was so desperate to contact me. I wasn't ready to tell the whole story. Honestly, I didn't think anyone would believe me. So I told them I didn't know what was going on, but asked them not to give him their Skype accounts under any circumstances. A few days after that, the phone calls started, all from different numbers I didn't recognize. I didn't pick any of them up. But one day I had about 20 missed calls from one number, then another 20 plus from a different number. I had to set my phone to only allow calls from specific contacts. Everything else would go straight to voicemail. Even if he couldn't reach me, he succeeded in making me feel pretty isolated. After the 5th day of the phone calls, I broke down and told my mom everything that happened. She didn't say much, she mostly let me talk. Afterwards, she told me that I made the right decision, but that there's absolutely no reason why I should be going through this alone. She said she didn't want to push me to talk until I was ready, but that the best thing I could do now is spend time with people who love and support me. So after going with me to get my phone number changed, she encouraged me to start calling my friends and telling them what happened, and to just hang out with them more in general. I had it stuck in my head that everyone would side with my ex and tell me I made a terrible mistake, that his intentions were good, and I blew things out of proportion by insinuating that he only proposed because his ex got engaged. But I was actually overwhelmed by my friends' responses. Apparently, my ex had been telling everyone that we broke up because I had major jealousy issues over his ex, but once they heard my side of the story, I was shocked by how many of them said it made sense. They all told me I'd done the right thing and that they'd back me up no matter what. I felt this huge sense of relief and have been making an effort to go out more. I'll be honest though, there are times where I wonder if I was wrong. Sometimes I think maybe my ex was just grieving his old relationship and proposing was his way of starting over. Sometimes I think I turned down the only marriage proposal I'll ever get. And sometimes, I think maybe I should have accepted because I loved him, and you don't often find people you truly love. But then, on the days I'm feeling wiser, I remind myself of how bizarre our last few weeks together were. How I always knew deep down I was second best to him, and how he's been behaving since we broke up. I've never seen him so unstable. He was always so calm and logical, so this is completely new to me. I know deep down that I did the right thing, but sometimes what you know in your head and what you feel in your heart are two completely different things. So that's basically it. I'm just going through the motions, and I'm going to make an appointment with a therapist. I wish I had something more profound to update you all with, some added wisdom, but I don't. My best advice to anyone going through something similar is what my mom told me. Surround yourself with people who love and support you. OP, thank you for the update. I wish you the very best. You made the right decision. The next few weeks it'll start to slowly hit you in waves. Be brave. You can get through this. You'll be much better at the end of it. Please do not make compromises about your needs. You deserve the very best person for you. Right. The withdrawal is the worst part of ending a long-term relationship. But in the long run, it'll go away and you'll be glad you didn't marry this guy. There is nothing sincere about his proposal if he's going to propose one day and lie to your friends on the next. Just imagine what would have happened if you accepted. Sure, it will be romantic for a couple months or a year, but ultimately you would get stuck with this guy for the rest of your life. You are too good for him, and he has some serious issues that he needs to sort out in therapy. You are not his tool. He does not get to use you as a way of getting back at his ex-girlfriend. Remember always that asses are not marriage material. There will be another man, a good man, who congratulates himself for finding a smart, sensible girl like you. He will build a home with you because he wants to, because he loves you, and not because he needs to reassure himself in his attractiveness. Now for the final update. Hello Reddit. I just wanted to update you guys on some things that have happened. I also want to apologize for not responding to any of the comments on my last post. I wasn't in a great place at the time and wasn't feeling up to it. But I did read every one of your responses, and I truly appreciate those who took the time to comment. First, my ex mailed me the engagement ring he bought shortly after my last update. I didn't know what to do with it. I wasn't sure if the ring was what he'd been claiming I stole. I also felt weird about mailing it back, because what if he claimed he never got it? So my dad volunteered to personally deliver the ring back to him. I don't know if anything was said when my dad brought it back, and I never asked. Second, I heard from some friends that 2 weeks ago, my ex bought a ticket and flew to NYC to try to talk to his ex. Somehow, he found out the name of the company she works for, looked up the location, and waited in front of the building all day. I have no idea what happened, but apparently there are no signs of her coming back, so I'm assuming it didn't go very well. I can't believe he did that, and I can't believe I dated someone that obsessed for 3 years. But I suppose it helps every time I hear about something like this, because it reinforces the fact that I did the right thing. I met with 2 therapists. I wasn't a huge fan of the first one. Every time I said something, he'd ask, "And how do you feel about that?" No feedback or suggestions whatsoever. At the end, he suggested that I was depressed and might want to consider a few different medications. I don't intend to see him again. I met the second one last week though, and I liked her a lot. She told me she doesn't think I need to see her regularly, but to feel free to make appointments whenever I'm feeling especially down or stressed. So I think I'll do that. A few people asked why I wanted to see a therapist in my last post since I seemed to be doing the right things. Well, the problem was that, even though I knew I was doing the right thing, I didn't necessarily feel that it was right. I still doubted myself, and I felt like a different person than I used to be. Prior to all this, I was always optimistic and generally happy. I always tried to make the best of things. But at the time of my last post, I felt down, and even though I was making an effort to see friends, I wasn't really enjoying it. Anyway, this brings me to where I am now. I started a paid internship with a chance of getting hired full-time almost a month ago, and I love it. I love the people, the work itself, and the fact that I'm getting back into a routine. And I'm a little embarrassed to say that I'm attracted to the guy who hired me. He's about my age. There's nothing going on, and I'm definitely not ready or willing to be in a relationship. It's simply the fact that he's the nicest, best-mannered person I've ever met. He's always positive, polite, and smiling, so it's impossible not to be in a good mood around him. So it's not that I think my next relationship should be with him or that I have feelings for him. It's just that I've realized the type of person I should be looking for is someone who makes me feel good just by being around them. I don't give much thought to my ex anymore. It's amazing how much life changes over the course of a few months, but I think everything is turning out for the best. Last story. My husband cheated in our home, filmed it, and I found the videos. I was with my partner for 12 years, 6 years dating, 6 years married. I thought our relationship was going well, aside from the usual small disagreements that every couple has. We had even started planning to have a child, something we had postponed due to our careers. Then one random day, I found videos on his computer, videos of him in our home, in our bed, with escorts. My whole world shattered in an instant. Whenever I was away for work trips or visiting my family, he was bringing escorts into our house and filming everything. He admitted to doing this for the past 2 years, which probably means it's been even longer. He never once discussed any issues with me. Instead, he lived a parallel life behind my back. On top of everything, we were actively trying for a child, and he never even considered the risk of exposing me to STDs. I was lucky to test negative, but the sheer disregard for my health and trust is something I can't process. When I confronted him, he said he has a porn addiction and that our relationship wasn't enough for him. But he never once talked to me about this. He just made the decision to go behind my back for years. What makes this even harder is that it's not just me who was blindsided. My entire family and all of our mutual friends were just as shocked. He hid this part of himself so well that no one suspected a thing. He acted like the perfect husband, the perfect friend, the perfect son-in-law, all while leading a completely separate life behind closed doors. We got divorced immediately. I left everything behind. It's over. But my anger hasn't faded. The images of those videos are burned into my mind. I try to distract myself to move on, but I don't know how to erase these memories from my head. If you've been through something similar, how do you let go of something like this? My ex did this, but didn't bring anyone to our house, thank God. Together 10 years, not married because neither of us wanted to be, and thank God for that too. He started a new nerdy hobby that got him out of the house a lot more. He guarded his phone more and even changed his wallpaper from me and our dog to just the dog. Not odd, mine is the same. But it was when I absent-mindedly used his phone and auto-brain to texts that I saw 400 for FS at X location. Left him and took my dog. It's hard to start over, especially at my age 33, but I'm happy. I'm back at my parents' with my dog, and now I'm a carer for my mom. Last I heard from him was that I ruined his life, and his parents wouldn't take him back, so he had to move into a share house, which is funny because he went from living at his parents to living with me, and we had been living together 8 years. He was so used to me doing every little thing that now without me, his life was over lol. It gets better, and thank your lucky stars you didn't have kids. Because that stress of having to keep kids in touch with dad and shared custody would have been a living nightmare until the kid was 18. Trust me, it's for the better. Thanks for your support and for sharing your story. It really feels difficult to start over. I moved to another city and found a new job. I couldn't even bear to be in the same city as him. The things he did really make me sick. As you said, not having a child was the first thing I thought about when I learned about his affair. Thank God. It feels good to hear from you that it gets better.